Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. And I want to cover a little bit more on what I did in my last video. The one I presented first, the war on drugs. That is really about money. Pardon me. And that whether or not it should be legalized. Cocaine, marijuana, things like that. Not necessarily the other more harmful drugs, but those two especially. And to know the people's opinion on that. So I'm still waiting for the results of that. I felt I didn't elaborate enough on the whole cocaine thing. So I want to let you guys know that when it comes to the drug itself of cocaine, all the negative aspects they say about it, it's actually true what they say all as far as the negative. It is true. But they put more of the blame on the drug itself instead of the people that abuse it and the way it's being used. For those who need a history lesson on the whole thing of cocaine, like I said before, it was used as a pain remedy with the coca plants, the actual leaves. Some people would chew it, and of course, like I said before in the last video, that a lot of the black workers that would used it to be more energetic. And then some kind of fear propaganda came out saying that they were being violent, which got the white people, the white community all scared because of the rush it gives them in type of power once they're geeked up on it. But the main reason why they were being like I said before, the main reason why they were being violent was because they were badly mistreated by the white people, by their white bosses. They treated them like shit. That's the main reason why they got violent. The blame was on them, but of course they're not going to say that. Especially back in those days, they're going to find some kind of bullshit reason to cover it up. Anyways, the actual drug itself used to be sold in drugstores. Used to be. But then there was so much fear propaganda. There was to the point that there was some kind of threat, and then they actually made it illegal sometime in the early 1900s, 1913 or something like that. I'm not really sure of the exact date. So I'm gonna do a little brief history lesson from a video that I've seen, and of course I can only get the audio of it, and I want to know what you think.
Altering the drink's effects. In 1886, John Pemberton wrote the original recipe for Coca-Cola. The recipe was written as a pinch of coca leaves. It was not until 1906 that the company began using decoconized leaves, when the Pure Food and Drug Act was passed. Cocaine was widely used and generally accepted as part of many different forms, from drinks to cigarettes to the powder form we see today, to even one company who packaged a cocaine mixture that could be injected directly into the user's veins with the needle included in the package. The company promised that its cocaine products would simply supply the place of food, make the coward brave, the silent eloquent, and render the sufferer insensitive to pain. In the late 1800s, cocaine began to become a part of popular literature. For example, Arthur Doyle's fictional character Sherlock Holmes would snort cocaine, generally out of boredom when he wasn't working on a case. In the early 20th century, cocaine was sold in neighborhood drugstores, costing 5 to 10 cents for a small box full. Along the Mississippi River, white employers encouraged its use by black laborers at first. Eventually, just like marijuana, cocaine was the subject of much propaganda, and it was claimed that cocaine was making black men violent and that the white population would be targeted. For decades, cocaine was widely accepted and used for medical and recreational use. It was only by the Harrison Tax Act of 1914 that it became illegal. The drug became so popular and was so widely used, it is very hard to pinpoint the exact events that transpired to make it what it is today. With the use of the drug in modern pop culture and the prevalent use by the rich, famous, and powerful, an important factor of its popularity more than likely is it causes many users to feel rich, famous, and powerful also. With the development of crack cocaine, a much stronger and cheaper form of the drug, coke shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
And that's the explanation of it. And for those who may not have heard it that well, if it doesn't sound that clear, it would help if you put on, headphones, and then you could probably hear the recording of what he's saying more clearly. Usually that works. But for those, if you actually heard it and understood it, from what I understand personally myself, it seems that it was threatening for a different reason. I think suspicion-wise, and again, I'm just making an opinion. Anything that the FDA or the drug companies, the pharmaceutical companies, finds competitive, like they did with ephedra. Ephedra which used to be a main ingredient for diet pills and stuff like that. Ephedra was becoming too threatening to them, because the pharmaceutical companies were probably losing money, or they didn't like the competition. So they made this fear propaganda that ephedra was actually killing people. There was some truth to it, but they exaggerated it in order to create enough fear. So they managed to manipulate the public into making it believe that it was really as bad as they said. So it was considered illegal now. So I don't know when. I think it was like the late 90s or the mid 90s or something. It was made illegal. I'm not quite sure of the date. So it doesn't surprise me that cocaine was the same thing. They put the blame on the drug when it's really because of the people who abuse it. So that's basically how it is. I mean, just like how it is with alcohol. It's because the people who abuse alcohol, and then they get drunk and they get violent, or they kill somebody in a drunk driving accident and things like that. And same thing with cigarettes. I mean, no one is pointing a gun to their head, you better smoke cigarettes. And yet they're smoking a great deal of cigarettes because it's addictive. And the companies, the people in power of it, the CEO and stuff like that, they don't go to jail. They don't get arrested. I mean, it's just that's just my point of view of what I see, from what I understand. And of course, I think if the pharmaceutical companies don't like the competition of what ephedra did, or what ephedra actually does, and the example they use about the wake up pills, which does the same thing as cocaine. It's basically cocaine in a pill. And then if the coca leaves was still available, or if it were to be legalized, and then you can see in stores where you can buy it, it's going to give the same effect. The same effect as Ritalin or Adderall, to get you wired up, or what ephedra used to do when it used to be legal. And again, they'll find it threatening because they don't want the competition. They don't want to lose money. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's what it looks like to me. So I'm just gonna basically step back and let you guys decide. All the viewers that are watching this right now, if you believe me or not. If what I'm saying, am I saying something that's big time bullshit, or is there some truth to what I'm saying? So I just want to know your opinion. I want to know your votes on it, and drop a comment. Let me know what you think, and hopefully you like this video. And please subscribe. And again, to all of you, take care.